Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the Sycamore Banquet Center and the induction ceremony of the 30th class of the Indiana State University Athletics Hall of Fame presented by the ISU Credit Union. I'm John Sherman. I'm the Senior Assistant Athletics Director here at Indiana State and Chairman of our Hall of Fame Committee. It's an honor to stand before you tonight as your Master of Ceremonies. On behalf of our current student athletes, our coaches, and our administration, we congratulate you and your families on your induction into the Hall of Fame. Tonight, we will honor 5 individuals with our 30th induction class. We have a 2-sport athlete who continues to give back to this great university in so many ways. A cross-country track standout who was one of the reasons the dominance in both sports began. A soccer player who was so good, the conference made her part of the All-Centennial team while she was in action. A basketball player who changed the game in his hometown, and a head coach that showed us fire and passion in how team before self is actually done. To bring us a welcome from this great university, please welcome the president of Indiana State University, Dr. Deborah Curtis. Thank you.
Good evening. Let me take a moment here to say, let me recognize, by the way, the great work of John Sherman. Would you thank him for all of us? This is my one stop at the microphone, so I also want to lift up our excellent athletic director, Sherrod Clinkscale. Thank him for us. And Sam Shanks, thank you, ISU Credit Union, for this wonderful evening. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you tonight to this Indiana State University Athletics Hall of Fame celebration. Tonight's Hall of Fame inductees exemplify what is great about Sycamore athletics. Mike, Jake, Amy, Lauren, and Coach Waltman. These football, basketball, track, cross-country, soccer athletes, and a great basketball coach made their mark on Indiana State University's athletics history. And we're lifting them up tonight as the difference makers that they all were and are. Each of them has the admiration and gratitude of this university's students, faculty, staff, and alumni who recognize these Hall of Fame inductees' significant accomplishments on the field, court, and track. We know you will enjoy hearing about and acknowledging their contributions to our exceptional Sycamore athletics traditions. One more time, on behalf of the Indiana State University family, welcome tonight.
Dr. Curtis, thank you very much. This ceremony is not possible without the great efforts of so many people behind the scenes. It's the 11th consecutive year that we've had a corporate sponsor for our Hall of Fame ceremony. It's the 7th year for the ISU Credit Union to be that corporate sponsor. And with a welcome from our friends of the ISU Credit Union, please welcome the marketing coordinator, Amanda Vester. Amanda?
Bit shorter than everybody else that'll probably be up here this evening. Good evening. On behalf of Indiana State University Federal Credit Union, staff and board of directors, welcome. We are honored to be the sponsor of this evening's event. How many years are we at? 8? 7? 7. Okay, lucky 7. We'll go with that. As the university's credit union, we provide financial services to the students, faculty, staff, alumni, and their families. To the honorees, the legacy you left behind at ISU certainly warrants tonight's honor. To Coach Waltman's family, thank you for joining us, celebrating his amazing career at Indiana State. I have vivid memories of watching the awesome atmosphere that he provided in the Holman Center during my high school years. ISU Credit Union's partnership with the university runs deep. ISU has so much to offer its students, faculty, and staff, as well as our community. We are so proud to be a small part of that. Again, from all of us at ISU Credit Union, congratulations to tonight's honorees. Thank you.
Amanda, thank you very much. At this time, if you would please bow our heads in a moment of silence for those who are in our thoughts and in our prayers this evening. Thank you. We hope you enjoy this evening. It's dinner time, and we'll be back to get our program and the induction ceremony underway shortly. Have a great evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get our program underway. We hope you enjoyed your dinner. Please give a big round of applause for fine folks at Sodexo. Great food. It's even better I didn't cook any of it, so you're all set. We have some special guests with us here this evening. If they could stand, you've already met Dr. Curtis, but you have not met her husband, Mr. Lynn Curtis. You'll see him standing a lot tonight, but the Director of Athletics here at Indiana State University, Sherrod Clinkscales. Also with us tonight, we have some past Hall of Famers. I'd like those Hall of Famers, if you could, please stand to be recognized as part Hall of Famers. Please stand. Also tonight, we have a few of our head coaches with us this evening, if they could stand as well and be recognized. The head coaches just stand up. Well, we got a couple. With us as well tonight, members of our Hall of Fame committee who have this unbelievable task of selecting this group each year. If I could have them stand for another great job in selecting this class into the Hall of Fame, our committee. I tried to hide them in the back. It's much easier just in case something happens. I've got a special thanks to a lot of people who are behind the scenes in putting this evening and this entire weekend together, and I can't say thank you enough to all of them. Mandy Hopton, Michelle Sorrell, Angie Lansing, Donna Bell, Seth Montgomery, and the guy behind the screen over here, Luke Martin, putting all these video presentations together. If you could, round of applause for these folks. Great job. All right, it is now time to introduce you to the 30th class of the Indiana State Athletics Hall of Fame. Our first inductee to the 30th class, Mr. Royce Waltman.
42 years, the last thing I thought about before I went to bed is my team. And the first thing I've thought about when I got up in the morning is my team.
The team, the team, the team. Two words that catapulted Royce Waltman's success at Indiana State and in his other stops in college and high school basketball. Always put the team first.
Took from Coach Waltman at all my stops was the understanding of sacrifice and accountability to the team. It's really the responsibility of the coaches, players, and everyone involved to understand what each guy does well and how their role can help the team win. He would often tell our players, everyone's role is going to be different and I'm going to treat you different, but everyone's value is the same. This created a collective determined spirit to understand that there always is a way to win.
He didn't change. He was still all about preparation for the games and then about development of the young men on the court and off the court. So when you see that the success didn't change him, it was easy to follow suit, not just for the assistant coaches and staff, but also for the players.
Royce came to Indiana State in 1997, put in charge of a program that needed a little fire, and Royce would bring that fire. But with that fire came a heartfelt love for his players and his coaches.
It's a tough love thing, right? And he was, yeah, you hit it right. He's rough around the edges, but huge heart. I mean, all of the guys, you know, when he got done at Indiana State coaching, and just the gratitude of just wanting to guys to be around and staying in touch with the former players. And obviously he's got a, you know, we always joke, we're all still on it. When I say all, like Menser and Wren and Geek and all those guys and Jib, and we're all, we all stay in pretty good contact, and we all joke who his favorite was. It's like, Mentor jokes it was Ren says it's Mentor, and go back and forth. But it's kind of a joke with all of us. But that's just how caring he was.
First thing about Coach is he's intense, and you had to learn how to take Coach, but also understand that he's pushing you to be better. So when he got on you, he really wanted you to go out and prove the next play that, hey, look at this, buddy, I can do it. And so just to get a little bit of understanding of how he worked inside and out, freshman, sophomore was learning, and then junior, senior was just because he taught you how to play basketball. And, there's a lot of set plays and all that stuff, but by the time we were junior, seniors, we were just really playing basketball.
The Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year in 2000, Royce became the only coach to guide Indiana State to back-to-back NC2A tournament appearances. He coached 7 All-Valley team members, 1 Player of the Year and a Defensive Player of the Year, 10 All-Academic team members, and 1 COSIDA Academic All-American. It was about the true student-athlete for Royce Waltman.
The most neat situation I've ever been a part of in my coaching career is at IU in the Indiana Classic. 1.2 seconds left on the clock, BOB for IU. They call timeout, and Coach Waltman, when the players came over the huddle, under 17,000 fans, we could barely hear each other. Coach Waltman said, ask them, okay, what do you guys want to do? You want to switch, or you want to stay with your man? So at the end of the day, he gave them the ultimate respect of making the final call and winning one of the biggest games in the history of Indiana State basketball.
Indiana State has won the game 63-60.
Royce Waltman, the team, the fire, the coach. Now a member of the Indiana State Athletics Hall of Fame. As you know, we lost Coach Waltman in 2014, but to accept his induction this evening is his wife, Carol Waltman.
I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for selecting Royce and bestowing this honor on him posthumously. Thank you, ISU Credit Union, for your sponsorship, and a special appreciation to John Sherman for all the hard work he's done to make this event a success. When Royce came to Indiana State in 1997, as John has told you, he inherited a basketball program that had fallen on hard times, and following the tremendous success of the Larry Bird era, had 17 losing seasons. But during his first year, they had a winning season. And playing in a tough Missouri Valley Conference that included Wichita State and Creighton, they followed that first year with yet another winning season, and then went, as John has already told you, 2 years to the NC2A tournament, beating Oklahoma in the first round of 2001. I will never forget the night that they clinched the Missouri Valley Conference championship in front of a sellout crowd and in front of none other than Larry Bird himself. This hadn't been done since the Larry Bird era. And then who can forget, I hope I'm not redundant, the 3 wins we had over Indiana University, one of them coming down at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, beating Bobby Knight, Royce's former boss. Indiana State basketball had arrived. So many wonderful memories. But that's what Royce did. He never shirked or was shy from challenges. He had taken other teams that had fallen upon hard times and losing, and consequently or subsequently turned those teams and those records around. Bedford High School, where he had coached for 16 years, and the University of Indianapolis were at one time known as coaching graveyards until Royce took over the helm and turned them back to the win column. And I do believe that he might be, and you'll have to check me on this, he might be the only coach that took 3 different schools to their respective NC2A tournaments: DePaul University, Division III, the University of Indianapolis, Division II, and of course, Division I, our Indiana State Sycamores. So that was quite an accomplishment. But all these are records that are on the books probably, and you will probably already have heard about them. So what I would like to briefly talk about, just for a while, is not Royce Waltman, the basketball coach, but Royce Waltman, the man. First of all, Royce had a keen intelligence. Whether it was sitting in the Commons over here with former President, ISU President Landini, talking about the writings of Shakespeare, or working doggedly the New York Times Friday and the Saturday crosswords, which, if you don't do crosswords, they're the toughest ones. Royce had a razor-sharp mind. And he had an astute intuitiveness. He could read people. And he had no tolerance for false pretenses. There was no BS with him, because he was quick to let you know that he was on to you. And today you hear a lot of talk about cheating in college athletics, but I'm here to tell you, Royce Waltman never cheated. He coached with integrity and brutal honesty, even if it meant losing a highly touted recruit to a team that would bend the rules. His character was beyond reproach. He was genuine and he was honest. And I know, I see the players sitting out there that they might say, and rightly so, that he was tough to play for, that he demanded a lot from his players, and that he was a fierce competitor. And that's probably true. I never played for him. But he had a soft side that very few people were privy to. He loved music. It would move him, even though he couldn't dance or sing a lick. And he loved good literature. He adored our family and was a great father to Suzanne, our daughter, and Kevin, our son. And oh, those grandchildren, Sam, Lily, Calla, and Holling. And Holling, although I know you never got to meet your pap, he loved you deeply, and he'd be so proud of you. And you too, Calla. Yes. So there was a tenderness and a softness there, that a gentleness even, that very few people got to witness. But I think the thing that I missed the most and loved the most about my husband was his sense of humor. He had a quick wit and a dry sense of humor. And even in his final days, he could make me laugh at the folly of it all, or the fragility of it all. So I want to thank Andy Myers, who was Royce's boss and AD. He respected her, admired her, and loved working for her. And I want to thank all our friends out there, Lila Wall, Ray Goddard, and especially our dear friends, David and Julia Williams, who have been our friends and supporters for 35 years, through thick and thin. Thank you very much. But most of all, I want to thank the players, because let's face it, without them, none of this would be possible. And I just hope, they're grown men now with successes and families of their own, but my one true wish is that they know the love and the loyalty that Royce had for them. So thank you, guys. Thank you all.
Carol, thank you. Our next inductee into the 30th class, Mr. Mike Blackwell. When describing what Indiana State University is, you need to look no further than Mike Blackwell, a dual sport athlete, football and baseball. Mike graduated from Indiana State in 1971 with a degree in geology. Mike was involved all over campus while competing in 2 sports, and that giving back continued after his playing career was finished.
Comically, I've inherited another useful assistant coach. Seriously, what a fine individual. He did so much for so many people. Outwardly and publicly, he would not gather up all the attention. Personally, it wasn't like he played on that field, but on the fields he played on, he is just beside himself on how nice we have it now.
Yes, I think they'll always consider this home, even though they've lived away from here many years. I mean, he had great time here with his sport, playing, and of course him and Mary. And yeah, he's just driven to keep on doing for the university. He wants to be, the fitness center, of course, was one of the main things. He was so proud to do that. So yeah, he's committed to give.
Mike and his wife Mary established a baseball scholarship in their names and was just a phone call away when Indiana State needed help.
We consider them friends, but for the university, as a person that is charged to build revenue and to help the department grow, I would say that Mary and Mike Blackwell are go-to people. When I say go-to people, whenever there's a need that we need, they've come through every single time that I've been here. And you have to earn that to a certain point, and not that I've earned it, but I think that they love the school so much, and I happen to be the person in the chair that they want to do what's best for the university. And every time I've called about baseball, basketball, or football need, they've always come through.
Recently, Mike and Mary created the Mike and Mary Blackwell Sports Performance Center, giving back to the current and future student athletes of Indiana State. Mike Blackwell, the epitome of what Indiana State is all about, is now a member of the Indiana State Athletics Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Indiana State Athletics Hall of Fame, Mr. Mike Blackwell.
Well, I was expecting to speak for 20 minutes, but they told me I only had 3. So I cut it back. Indiana State's been special to us, and we've tried to help Indiana State where we could. But it's impossible for one person, but it's possible for many. And I'm pleased to be one of the many that have been assisting sports at Indiana State for some time. I wish I could say more, but I'm not going to do it. Thank you.
I'm going to say more. My name is Jenny Vandiver. I am Mike and Mary's middle daughter. First of all, thank you, President Curtis, for your continued leadership here at Indiana State. Thank you to Sherrod, Danny, and John for your continued effort into providing student athletes here with the best possible college experience here at Indiana State. As a college athlete myself, I know how important your experience can be. I know Dad has mentioned several times how grateful he was to extend his athletic career here at Indiana State. He's a humble giver, and I feel like that has made myself and my siblings and my family who we are. He's always been driven. He always pushed us to be our best. Come home after a basketball game complaining, too bad, work it out, work harder. To his football coaches, Benbow, how do you say it, Dad? Saccone, Benbow Saccone, Doug Kay, Bill Quinter, Coach Dunk, Dave Dunkelberger, and his one baseball coach he mentioned was Jim Rendell. Also to his teammates and several of his friends that are here today. They've been with our family a long time. I feel like we used to come up for Thanksgiving every year from Mississippi. We'd go to Indiana State basketball game, which was a thrill for all of us, and see some of his many friends that were teammates that have become lifelong friends of my parents. Several of his favorite memories he mentioned were beating Ball State at their homecoming twice, and the many football seasons, successful winning football seasons. I asked him about baseball, and he said he didn't want to talk about that because they were so bad. And until Coach Warren came along, that's when things seemed to change. From our family, we truly appreciate this honor. We're thankful to come back to Terre Haute any chance we can get, and this is one of those times. It's been truly fun this last year to see what my dad and my mom have provided here. My kids, his grandkids, have been able to come and see. I hope they understand his desire and his success here. Thank you to everybody for this honor for my dad. He's one that doesn't really prefer an honor, a kind of behind-the-scenes guy that would rather not be given something like this. So as his child, I'm truly thankful for his honor, for this honor, and for this weekend, and for the events that you've provided here. To the other honorees, congratulations. We're excited to be with y'all as well this weekend. Thank you so much.
I don't know. Long and far for that headshot, my friend. All right, our next inductee into the 30th class, Amy Cohey. Leadership comes in different forms, whether it's vocal or by action. And when it comes to Amy Cohey, she handled it in many forms. Entering Indiana State in 1991, she would begin her career needing to step up in the Missouri Valley Conference cross-country championships due to injuries. Cohey would finish second in the conference and help lead the Sycamores to their first MVC cross-country title.
Well, Amy was actually a host on my recruiting visit. So I had a great experience with her and a great connection early on. And, you know, I think all of us would kind of laugh because she and her now husband, Jimmy, were kind of a package deal. So he was on the recruiting visit as well. But I just remember them taking me in, making me feel welcome, introducing me to everyone, and making sure I had a good time while I was here at ISU.
I think Amy was my biggest competition my junior and senior year in the conference. We had some other conference rivals that were up there, But I really remember the race in '93. It was my 5th year, my last year of running at Indiana State. And we were in Iowa, and it wasn't warm. And it was slippery, like sleety on the ground. And when I got up from that second fall, it was just like, this is just not my day. This is not gonna happen for me. And I just remember watching that race play out and seeing Amy up there with those 2 other girls and just in my head coaching her along, and she was just doing exactly what I thought she would do. And I watched her pull away from that runner, and that's the race she went on to win. And we won that meet by a couple of points, and it just, I mean, every place counts, and she took over for me and got that #1.
The success on the course and on the track continued throughout her career. Named the Valley's Cross Country Athlete of the Year in 1993, an All-Region selection in 1991, and she got it done in the classroom as well, named twice a Valley Scholar Athlete. That leadership, both on and off the track, continued, winning the 5,000-meter outdoor individual title while helping propel the Sycamores to 3 indoor titles and 2 outdoor championships.
She was just very determined, and she's tough as nails. I mean, she could just push the pace and get you through workouts and just motivate you to do your best every time you went to practice, let alone a race.
Amy just had a great way to connect and rally people. You know, even still to this day, we have, you know, a group text message with quite a few of us on there, and she's usually one to initiate a conversation or to bring up someone's birthday or, you know, try to share something funny. So she just has this ability to, you know, rally the troops, and she is just a great leader.
If you add it all up, Cohee pushed the Sycamores to 7 conference titles in her career. That drive leads Amy Cohee into the Indiana State Athletics Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Indiana State Athletic Hall of Fame, Amy Cohee.
Oh, wow. There we go. All right, can you hear me? I guess I am the shortest one. Wow, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but we're going to try. First off, I want to thank the Indiana State, the Credit Union, and the Holman Center, and John Sherman as well for having this great event. And thank you for the committee. This is a huge, huge honor for me. Just looking out there, and I see several familiar faces, and we all have something in common. You know, we love Indiana State University, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in as well. But first off, I'd want to thank God for bringing me to Terre Haute, Indiana, back in 1991. It was probably one of the best decisions that I made. And I'm sorry, my glasses, I can't see this, but I can't see you if I do this. But first off, again, I want to thank everybody for being here, and especially the crew that I brought with me. My parents, I'm so pleased that they're able to be with me, Rhonda and Alan Cohee. I know that back in the day when I was running in high school, and actually some in college too, I know my mom would go on these hour walks, and we'd go out in the country, and she would walk, and I would run, 15 minutes or whatever, and I'd come back, and I'd do a little circle around her, make sure no dogs got her or anything, and I'd run back out. And then my dad, he always did my 200-meter kickers with me at the end, down Main Street, and about 50 meters from the finish line, he'd always turn around and kind of go backwards. I don't think you could do that today, Dad, but I don't know, though. He might be able to. But anyway, I'm so glad that they're able to be here today, as well as my mother-in-law, Barb Tush. She's always one that always gives us little handwritten notes that always mean so much. So I'm so glad that they're able to be here with me today. Also, Tonight, my kids are with me, Jamie and Cindy and Jeremiah. And I know in this, I know that they're probably not going to put their phones down, in this TikTok generation. You're probably going to see me up on, some Instagram page or something somewhere, Please give me 2 thumbs up if you see it. But I'm so pleased that they're here today, and I hope that, they approve of all of this, and hopefully they find some humor in some of this. And then also with me tonight are a few of my friends and colleagues. I've got my friends from Milan, the Brinkmans, and the Goebels, and one of my former athletes from Milan, Alyssa Brinkman. Also traveling all the way from Florida was my cross-country coach, high school cross-country coach, Tom Simpson, and Jeremy Bainey, who was a trainer, I believe, or manager here at Indiana State when I was here, and I actually worked with him on the cross-country team down in Aurora. And then also from Texas is Coach Mark Rodriguez, which is one of my colleagues. And then as well, Angie Menzer, lifelong rival from Batesville, Indiana, as well as a teammate. And then Linda McNichols, which holds a dear place in my heart. So I appreciate all of them coming here to kind of celebrate this with me. And then the one last person that I guess I almost forgot to mention was my husband, Jimmy. Jimmy, my husband, he's always been there for me. In high school, he was my best friend. He was my rock when things didn't go so right, and my reality when things did. He kept me humble, but always pushed me to be better, and he's still doing it 35 years later. We've survived many different lives together, it seems like, and I would not be able to do this without his support and his encouragement. But having so many people here this evening just clarifies the many things that have gone right for me by coming to Indiana State University. I was able to make some great memories and some great friendships. It gave me what I needed to become successful as a student athlete and a professional coach. Now, being a mom with 2 daughters of college age, I can only pray that they find their paradise. For me, it started in Milroy, Indiana. Don't know if any of you know where Milroy, Indiana is. 8th grade year. 8th grade year science class. I just turned in my science test, and I laid the paper down on the teacher's desk, and I turned around, I get about halfway back to my seat, and I hear the teacher say, "Amy," and I stopped. I was like, oh no, I didn't cheat. I didn't study very much, but there's no way he could have graded it that quickly. So I kind of turned around, and I went back up, and I said, "Yeah, hi, Mr. Porter." And he goes, "Hey," he goes, "I want you to run cross country next year." Cross country? What's that? And he goes, "Well, I'm the cross country coach." And I went, "And it's a 4K. A 4K? What's that?" I'm like, "In the fall? I play volleyball in the fall," as I'm like 4'3". He goes, "Well, it's 2.6 miles." I said, 2.6 miles? As a 13-year-old, I'm thinking, 2.6 miles? Who is crazy enough to run 2.6 miles without stopping? But anyway, he looked at me with his very confident eyes, and he said, "August 5th, be there, first practice." And I was, and I never looked back. And I'm glad I did. But my high school running career wasn't really that much to brag about, considering, compared to some of my other teammates and some of my other classmates that I was recruited with. I was maybe good for my area. I had a couple school records, one that still stands, the mile. I qualified for state a couple of times, but my favorite long run was to Dairy Queen to get a treat. And then run back to the track, which I'm sure the coach didn't know about that. But anyway, then my senior year came Coach Tom Simpson. And Tom is here with me today. He flew in from Florida just for this. He kept me honest. He kept us all honest. And this is someone who loves my sport and in a very short time made a huge impression on me. I'm a firm believer that God brings people into your life when you need them the most. And he knew that I needed that little extra boost to rise to that next level. Tom made me take that leap, and I never looked back. Eat the pain, love the pain, shoot the gaps. Those are things that are sayings that he would say that I use in my in my strategies today. He's even probably the reason that I married little Jimmy Tush, and for 28 years now. But anyway, thank you, Coach Porter and Tom Simpson, for literally getting me running on the right foot. And even today, my life has literally gone in full circle because I am the head women's cross country and track coach at Rushville High School. So I'm trying to fill their shoes and trying to make a positive impact on the next Amy Cohey. But when I became a part of the team here at ISU, my running career really blossomed. Coach Gartland and Coach McNichols and their staff put together an amazing experience for me. They not only taught me how to live on my own, they taught me how to not be afraid to fail. They taught me how to be a better leader and a positive force in our sport today. Not only did they push me to 2 individual conference titles, they provided me with an opportunity to coach beside them here at ISU. They encouraged me to continue to coach cross country and track and field at Butler and at Northwestern. They made me believe in myself. I cherish every moment that I had here at ISU, but being a student athlete was the best part. Not only did I get to become teammates with NCAA champions like Holly Heisch, All-Americans like Debbie Ramsier, I became lifelong friends with high school rivals like Angie Menzer, Lansing, as you know her. My teammates were like my sisters. We pushed each other every day, and I'm honored to be standing up here representing them as well as myself. No matter the time in between, we always just pick up in the conversation where we left off. And that is all attributed to the culture that the coaches developed in us. I learned so much from the coaches here at ISU, and I use a lot of what they said in my own program today. They gave me the confidence and the knowledge to be a good leader, and it's not just me. They've touched so many lives in this state, too many coaches to count from the program from here at ISU. It makes me so proud to go to my coaching clinics to say that I'm a graduate of ISU cross country and track and field. But one of the most influential people in my life is not here today. He's got COVID. It's Coach John Gartland. Coach John Gartland, for those of you that know him, he's kind of stubborn, but he really brought me out of my shell, not only as an athlete, but as a coach. He built confidence in me and knowledge. He taught me how to take risks, to learn from your mistakes, and how to get others to believe in you and your philosophy. Without his faith in me, I definitely wouldn't be standing here today. My experience was nothing but extraordinary. When I came here my freshman year, I had no idea what to expect. I was just a small town mediocre, 54th in the state meet runner that I was trying to fit in at a Division I university and be a student athlete. But when I made the All-Star team my senior year, I think 80% of that Indiana State All-Star team, they were going to be my future teammates. And that's amazing. So I knew right from the start that I knew that I had made the perfect choice. And I'm so honored to be part of the beginning of the great track and field dynasty that Coach McNichols and Coach Gartland has built, and the Martins and the staff are continuing to fight to maintain. As I think back, it's not just the 7 conference titles, the Triple Crown, or the 56-0 regular cross-country season. It's the way this athletic department made you feel special. It was the experience ISU as a whole allowed me to have. The people really cared. They wanted to be a part of your life, and not just because it was their job or because you were an athlete. It felt like family, and it still does. Now, Coach never felt that we got the ticker tape parade that we felt we deserved, but we always knew we were noticed. It just took time. And now, we have the greatest cross-country complex in the country, a vision of Coach McNichols, and a fabulous indoor and outdoor track facility. And I'm honored that my generation contributed to that. Cross Country Town is Terre Haute, and Paradise to the rest of the country. This is where I grew up. It's where I learned how to be who I am today, and it will always be my second home. Now, I could tell you lots more stories, but one in particular would be the Coach McNichols' educational detours on our road trips, where we were going to see some gravesite or some dead president's house. He was such a wealth of knowledge, and he always knew where those places were. Or I could tell you about the staff meetings where we had a swear jar that we had enough funds to buy almost $250 worth of food for the food pantry. And for those of you that know, it wasn't all Coach Gartland's money. McNichols, I believe, threw a 50 down before we even started the meeting, and Coach Gartland kind of came in kind of counting his money. And I think, Rodriguez, I probably got some of your money too, I'm sure. But anyway, I know that I've probably talked way too long, so I'm trying to be respectful. But again, thank you all for being here this evening. I know that, especially for me, some of you did travel from Florida, from Texas, from Milan, from Rushville, from Aurora, just to celebrate this with me. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. It means so much to have such great fans, and also to see what my teammates say too. That really kind of got to me. I didn't think I'd be able to get through this, but also thank you, Coach Gartland. I hope he feels better, and rest in peace, Coach McNichols, knowing that you will live forever in me. Thank you, Indiana State, for making me who I am today. Congratulations, all the other candidates. I'm humbled to share this moment with you. May God bless you, and I know that we're the squirrels, but go trees. Thank you.
I was wondering who was going to make the first Paradise reference. Our next inductee into the 30th class of the Indiana State Athletics Hall of Fame, Lauren Podolsky. Quiet but stood tall, fierce competitor and a gentle teammate. All these describe Lauren Podolsky on and off the pitch. Podolsky got to Indiana State in 2004 as Vernon Croft was putting together the soccer program and needed someone like Podolsky to lead the way.
Going back to those years, the early years of the Valley on the women's soccer side of it was heavily dominated by Illinois State and their attraction of the Canadian national team kids. And so I just kind of made a concerted effort that we got to find a way to get into Canada. And I remember going up to Burlington, just outside of Toronto, and the Umbro College Showcase. And it was there where actually Stephanie Anderson, who was a class before LP, and LP were playing on the same team up there. And I'll never forget sitting next to, I think it was Milwaukee, I think Wisconsin was there, heck, IU might have even been there too. There was a handful of, pretty good women's soccer programs there watching us. And I'm like, man, I just want to get this diamond in the rough.
Podolsky would go on to become the first Sycamore in soccer to win the Valley's Freshman of the Year honor. She was a three-time first-team All-Missouri Valley Conference selection, an all-tournament team member in 2006, and an all-academic selection twice. Podolsky was also named the Missouri Valley Conference All-Centennial team member in 2006. Not a surprise, but the surprise should be that Lauren was still in a Sycamore uniform at the time the team was named.
Lauren and I both came in at the same time, and right away we instantly connect. Initially we were playing offensively together, and right out the gate you knew that Lauren was someone that was going to make a difference in the team. And she did that her freshman year. You can see it by her record, the awards that she received. But, outside of even just the goals she scored, she was a team player, coming in as a freshman and being in that starting role and working with a lot of the players that had been on the team for several years. She really fit right in.
You wouldn't think that she was that aggressive. That was whoever said silent assassin. It was perfect because she was silent. She wasn't very vocal. You couldn't really hear her unless you were right next to her. But very aggressive, Lauren was. She could hold her ground. She didn't take crap from anybody. But she could just place the ball too. She just had the niche of finding the back of the net.
Quiet, competitive, motivated. Lauren Podolsky put her name in the record books at Indiana State and now becomes the first soccer player to be inducted into the Indiana State Athletics Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Athletics Hall of Fame, Lauren Podolsky.
That video gave me chills. Thank you. Whew, I gotta put my glasses on for this. Athletics has always been a huge part of my life. Growing up, a lot of hard work, time, and dedication has went into the sport that I love, with many milestones along the way. Being inducted today is the pinnacle of that athletic journey. I'd like to thank the ISU administration and the selection committee for the recognition and honor of being inducted into the Indiana State Athletic Hall of Fame. I want to thank the ISU coaching staff with a very special thank you to Mr. Vernon Croft, who provided the mentorship and guidance that allowed me to be successful during my soccer career here at ISU and keeping us all in line. Thank you for traveling all the way to the small town of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada, to persuade me to come to Indiana State University. A big thank you to my family who is here today. They have traveled far and wide with me to practices, games, and tournaments. My father being my personal trainer, sideline coach, and motivator. My mother, who has been traveling 7 hours through snowstorms to make it to tryouts and always cheering me on. My brother, my #1 fan, following my stats and letting everyone know how many records I have broken. I also want to thank my fellow teammates, some who are in the building today. Rachel Rudzis, one of the best goalies I've ever played with, and my original roommate. Stand up. Shay, Katie, Witt, KO, Shorty, I share this award with you guys. You all stand up. Thank you for coming. And finally, congratulations to all the other inductees here being honored today. I was recruited from a steel town in Northern Ontario, Canada, to Terre Haute in the heartland of the USA, and it made ISU University my home. When I arrived, I didn't know anyone. However, by the time I left, I had built a great foundation of not only friends, but family. My ISU experience was challenging, rewarding, educational, and transitional. It served me well. So once again, thank you for this prestigious award, and I look forward to celebrating this weekend with all of you.
Lauren and the folks from Canada brought the weather, by the way, too. They missed it, so it's part of it. Our next inductee into the 30th class, Jake Odom.
Could be the first one. Here you go. This is what you're talking about. Odom, 7 seconds. Odom with it. For the win. Got it! With .5.
The story had to have a happy ending. Homegrown talent leads the Sycamores to the NCAA tournament, but that was in his second year on campus and his first on the floor. Jake Odom was a walk-on who had something to prove to everyone, not only in Terre Haute, but across the country.
He had it when he was at Terre Haute South.
You know, he was well coached there, played with his brother, kind of did some special things with Terre Haute South High School. But he is like a quarterback that knows what he's telling the linemen what they got to do. He's telling the receivers what they got to do. He's reading the defense. He's talking to the backs. That's Jake Odom. He knew what every guy, where they should be, what they should be doing. He knew what every defender was trying to do. He could dissect the defense and read it on the fly as good as anybody. And you talk about other leaders. I think, you know, even currently or before me, there were great leaders at Indiana State basketball. But you're talking about Jake Odom, and you're talking about the best leader that there ever could be for a college basketball team. A leader, what he did on every day in practice and what he did every day in the court and how he was as a teammate.
By the time Jake Odom left Indiana State, he left his name with some of the greats. A two-time All-Valley first-team selection, a two-time All-Tournament team member, the most games played at Indiana State, 134, 130 of those being consecutive starts. He's second all-time in assists with 603, and the lists go on and on.
No one understands when I say Jake Odom. They look at this honey white guy, show him on his picture with this scruffy Santa Claus beard, and they're like, "This the guy you talking about?" I'm like, all right, let's go back 10 years ago and see if that's what you're gonna say. But you know, I try to take the things. Actually, I take the things that I learned from him and still talk about today. He was just so smart. He was a savant with everything. He was obviously the extension of the coach on the floor in every facet of the way. So to your point, how I take that in the coach, and I'm looking for the next Jake Odom out here in recruiting. That's how good of a player he was. And that's right there is the prototypical point guard that I kind of want right now. So
I didn't really understand how good he was going to be until that redshirt year, because if you ever want to, you know, get to know somebody, redshirt with him for a year. And we were actually became really close friends. We were roommates our freshman year. And you know, it was a great experience getting to watch him kind of go from, I don't even know if there was a scholarship at first, to become, you know, to going from that and then now today going into the Hall of Fame. Pretty special career.
Jake Odom, the homegrown talent with something to prove, is now a member of the Indiana State Athletics Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Indiana State Athletic Hall of Fame, Jake Odom.
Whew. Wow. I've been getting a little nervous, even though I was acting like I wasn't sitting over there. I probably didn't come as prepared as most of the other inductees tonight, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet for everybody. First off, congratulations to the other inductees. You know, it's an honor to be recognized as, you know, one of the best in your sport here and for all of the athletics here at Indiana State. So, you know, I understand how much hard work and dedication it takes to get into that. I want to give a special shout out to Coach Waltman. You know, I didn't know him overly or too much personally, but he coached and affected a lot of people's lives that I paid attention to. Growing up, seeing the Wren and Menzer and Green teams, those are some of my first memories with basketball. So I took a lot from that and instilled it to what I did as a player and what I do now as a coach. So, you know, it was an honor to see him from the outside a little bit there. Moving on, I'd like to thank my family, obviously, my mom and dad. They traveled to the games, traveled to take me to practices all over the state, all over the United States. I don't know if my dad missed too many games in my college career, so it means a lot for you guys to be there and instill, you know, the qualities that I had in myself to be a good player and a good leader and a good human being today. So I appreciate you guys. My grandma also, my number one fan. She wasn't able to make it tonight, but she was a legend around here, as some of you locals would know, sitting in the front row of my high school games with the student section and leading on the chants. So that really made me feel special, and you know, it's unfortunate she wasn't able to make it today, but she's an awesome lady. My brother, there's a lot that he's taught me over time about you know, how to be tough, how to win, and you know, I appreciate you for beating up on me when I was a little kid and not letting me off the hook. So there's two other people I'd like to really thank. Another one of my coaches, Coach Mike Saylor, who's no longer with us. He was one of the greatest people that I ever met and one of the most knowledgeable basketball coaches that I've ever been around. So, you know, I want to give him a shout out, and he taught me a lot. But going on to Coach Lansing now, you mean a lot to me. You really believed in me and showed me what it takes to be a good winner, to be a leader, and you played a big part in me being a professional. You hired me into the coaching that I'm into now, so you've really helped me get to where I'm at today. So I really appreciate you. You're a great guy for that. So on my flight in last night, I was thinking, you know, what am I going to say? What makes a Hall of Famer? What makes you who you are, and why do you deserve to be here? And it's hard really just to pick out one point in that. But the one thing that I always look back on that I really thought that was my best quality was that I was proud and honored to be from Terre Haute and to be able to wear the Indiana State jersey. I didn't like playing for myself. I didn't care about the stats. I cared about the success of my team. And to go with that, I forgot to give a shout out to my teammates, because, you know, without those guys, I'm not here either. But, you know, I thought that was one quality that most of the people in the Hall of Fame will have. You know, they're not selfish. They're out there to be successful for the team and for the university. So that's one thing that, you know, I learned here and I appreciate, and something that I will take into my coaching career the rest of my time. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And it's nice to see a lot of you guys haven't been around for a while. So if you see me, catch me and chat, and I enjoy catching up with you guys. Thank you.
Jake, thank you. Good to have you back. Ladies and gentlemen, one final applause for the 30th class of our Indiana State Athletic Hall of Fame. With some closing remarks tonight, please welcome the Director of Athletics at Indiana State, Sherrod Clinkscales.
Thank you. What a wonderful evening. John, you did a wonderful job. Can we give him another round of applause, please? Heck of a job. And Luke, come on around here and get your applause. I tell you what, this guy's pretty busy. Heck of a job, Luke. I also want to recognize, Andy Myers. She certainly is someone who has been in the same shoes I've been. She's also been a head coach, and I just want to say thank you for being here, Andy. Congratulations to this class. This is my 7th year here, and I can truly say that this place is something special. And I think Jake said something that made a lot of sense. You know, you're selfless. You care about your teammates, this institution, and this community, and that's what separates you all. So certainly congratulations to you all. You've set the bar very, very high, and we endeavor to continue to do that. So congratulations, and thank you all for being here, and go Sycamores.
That is our program for this evening. We thank you all for coming. The centerpieces are for someone at your table to take with you, if you would like. Flowers are on us. God bless. Thank you. Be safe. Go Sycamores.